know, we're coming up on the final home stretch towards the convention that is coming up at the end of the month on the 27th and 28th here in Dallas, Texas at the fabulous Gaylord Hotel. And you know, folks, it's an amazing run that we're on, and you know, I'm just excited. You know, we don't have all the numbers totaled up from the end of the year. We're in the process of doing that, as well as production for the last week or so going into the first of the year. But I do want to say to the 5 or 6 of you that are listening, actually no, excuse me, not 5 or 6, that's 56, 57, 50, 66. Boy, they're logging on fast, buddy. They're logging on fast. To all of those of you that are listening, for the 55 people that actually did some production over you know, the New Year's Day, the New Year's holiday, and that week after, folks, wow. Congratulations to each of you. We had well over those 50 people, 55 people that wrote at least one piece of business, and some that wrote multiple pieces of business, and that it's just a testament to the leadership that got out and really got everybody to just, you know, keep their foot on the gas. We've been talking about it, and folks, you guys went out and did it. So to each and every one of you, thank you for not taking your foot off the gas, for not ignoring families that needed your attention and protection. You know, some of you guys were already paid on some of that business as well, because you were writing the right business. Folks, I also want to just say thank you for logging in on the call last week. The numbers were staggering, and you know, Michelle and I received several calls and text messages, as did Ralph and Tim and Philip, about the call. We were really excited that you guys enjoyed the quality of the call and the content of the call, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that on a go-forward basis. Today's call will, again, as I said, be kind of a follow-up to that, where we're going to finish up where we left off a little bit and talk a little bit more in detail and show you guys some of what we were talking about also. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get this call started, and we're just going to get this thing rolling. As you can see, folks, you got great minds thinking alike right there. You've got Ralph and his beautiful wife, Dawn, Michelle and I, and none other than Philip Hudgens, folks, and we're giving you guys a thumbs up, telling you to put the hammer down and grow your business. If you can see, Philip's got his he's got his folio there out in front, folks, and we, you know, in that picture there, we were diagramming many of the things necessary for us to move forward within Vita. And you know, there's nothing that's less exciting about the business than the planning phase. You know, whenever we get a chance to chart out where we're going next and how we're taking it there. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this thing going. You know, let's move into it again. Just a kind of a recap. Last week we talked about mortgage protection, or simplified issue policies. What are they? They're policies, term policies, usually, but not necessarily exclusively, a term policy that has no medical requirements in terms of testing. Now, they still have medical questions that are required, but your clients are not required to take a medical examination, meaning they're not going to have a paramed come out and take their blood and take their urine, hook them up to an EKG machine, and check their heart. They're not going to you know, have to go through all of that. You know, these products are designed to be what we call jet issue, meaning that they're going to have a very rapid underwriting process. Your agent guides define what is acceptable for these products in terms of what will get approved and what will get declined. So it's very imperative, important that you have those agent guides downloaded onto the desktop of your computer. Make a folder for them. Ensure that you know exactly what will and what will not get approved, so that you're not submitting business and hurting your persistency, hurting your quality of business. You know, sometimes you're called QOB, that the carriers look at in terms of the amount of business that you're submitting and getting approved or declined. You know, a lot of people only look at, oh, you know, my persistency, meaning how much business stays on the books, and if you go below that 70% that most carriers expect on some of the their products, then you're in trouble of losing your appointment. But folks, they also look at the quality of your submitted business to make sure that you are not just throwing stuff up against the wall and seeing what will stick. The underwriting guides will also have specific height and weight guidelines. They're going to have a range of weights. You're usually going to have a minimum weight and a maximum weight for the type of policy that you are, that you're getting underwritten. As we talked about, one of the main underwriting criteria that they will do is they're going to do an MIB, or a Medical Information Bureau pull, so that they can check to see if anything is being reported by other life insurance companies that they learn in the course of underwriting a policy, to see if they're going to cover a person or not. They're also going to pull a motor vehicle report randomly. In most cases, there are some that do require over a certain age or over a certain dollar amount that a motor vehicle report will be pulled no matter what. And they will also pull one if you check off the little selection for, or the question that talks about DUIs, DWIs, and parole or probation. So those are important. They're also going to pull what you see as an RX review, or prescription drug database report, that usually is comprised of 7 years of medical, or at least the prescription information that is being reported on a person in terms of prescriptions that were sent to a pharmacy and filled. Whether the person picked them up, whether the person is taking them or not, is irrelevant. If it is sent to a pharmacy, that is going to show up on an RX review. And as we talked about in that first point, these are designed to be jet issue, meaning that that your underwriting is usually 24 to 72 hour commitments. Sometimes they run a little bit more than that, but usually a lot less. I know we just had one of the members of our team on Team Restore Us Life, that is Michelle Ralph and I, actually submitted a piece of business on Monday with Mutual of Omaha. Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock, they had a question that the underwriter needed a clarification. They responded back immediately. By 12:24, that policy was issued and in force for the client, and the producer had money in the BANK on Wednesday morning. So folks, if you're looking to take care of your clients, if you're looking to get them covered quickly, and if you're looking to get paid very, very fast, this is the reason that Michelle, Ralph, and I have been very, very big on talking about the simplified issue products. And guess what, folks? If you do the IULs correctly, if you follow the guidelines correctly, they do have some products that will do the exact same thing, simplified issue, with National Life as well as Emeritus. And folks, I will tell you this, Emeritus is very, very hungry for your business right now. They are approving business extremely quickly, and they are very, very, how do I want to say, they're very attentive to your needs in terms of you being able to get people on the phone, being able to speak with them. They return calls, they return emails very, very quickly. Hold times are nearly zero when you're dealing with Emeritus for their IULs. So, I do want to make sure that I point that out to you. If you're not appointed with Emeritus, make sure that you do download and fill out your appointment paperwork right away. Again, just understanding the two different products that we talked about last week. With Mutual of Omaha, again, the product that we prefer that you lead with Mutual of Omaha, the product that is going to get issued quickly, the product that is going to get you paid quickly, is called Term Life Express. Make sure when you're looking at your quote software that we'll talk about in a little bit, that you are choosing Term Life Express, because they do have an underwritten product called Term Life Answers, and it is very easy to make the mistake and click on that wrong product and put yourself in a much different situation. Just a recap on that, the Term Life Express, there is no mortgage required for their product, so you can sell that particular simplified issue product to anyone, whether they have a mortgage now, whether they've ever had a mortgage or not. They could be an apartment dweller, they could be a student in college going to school wanting to cover a student loan, or a parent that wants to cover their child's student loan as well. That's a great product for that. American Amicable's product that is similar is called Home Protector. They do require a mortgage, either new or previous, so you must have to, you have to deal with a homeowner on American Amicable's Home Protector. Probably next week we will go over some other alternatives at American Amicable that are still simplified issue, but we don't want to get you confused at the moment by talking about too many different ones. So we're going to get these, finished up. Both of these products are simplified, and you have term periods at Mutual of Omaha and Term Life Express. Again, your term periods that you can choose to cover a client with. They have a 10-year, a 15-year, a 20-year, and a 30-year. At American Amicable, there's a 15, 20, 25, and 30. Okay? You've got, with return of premium, Mutual of Omaha will only give you return of premium on their 20 and 30-year product, and that return of premium is a 100% return of premium. With American Amicable, you can do it on the 20, 25, or 30 years, and theirs on Home Protector, their simplified issue product, is a 75% return of premium. So you need to make sure that if you have software on your computer and you've not updated your software in a little while, probably since the beginning of, well, really, I think it was December the 16th was the day that they changed that. If you've not updated that quote software, please make sure that you go into your back office on American Amicable and that you reload Home Protector and check the dates on the other products, because there are some other updates for those as well, so that your software is accurate. You have banded ages. Your simplified issue face amounts at Mutual of Omaha. If your client is 18 years old to 50 years of age, you can get them a coverage for $25,000 to $300,000. And from 51 to 65, you're looking at $25,000 to $250,000. So again, if you're working with somebody, for instance, and I'm a real big proponent on talking to parents, folks, this is another market that you can use, and I'm giving it to you for free here. You can talk to people who have college-age children that have student loans. Why? Because a lot of times, folks, you've got parents that are guaranteeing, they have to sign on the way student loans work. Most of the time, parents have to sign on their children's student loan as a guarantor. So if the student doesn't pay, they go after the parents to pay that student loan. Well, guess what, folks? Unfortunately, kids are passing away in college. It has happened for years and years, and you're seeing a lot more of it, be it automobile accidents or health conditions. They are passing away. And you know what? Here's salt to rub in the wound. If they pass away, the parents still have to pay that loan. They're not absolved of it. There's nothing worse than having to bury your child, and then to have to bury your child and then assume their debt on top of any debt that you may have. So it is very, very smart and wise to talk to people about that as well, and you can use Term Life Express for that. American Amicable, from ages 20 to 65, so you cannot work with an 18-year-old. They have to wait till they're at least 20. They will go all the way up to 65. Their face amounts are consistent at $25,000 all the way to $250,000. And both products, keep in mind, are age last birthday. So if you have someone who is having a birthday tomorrow, you can basically get them covered for the age that they are still today, and the price that they are today, which in some cases could be significant. So do know that when you're going in and talking to your clients. So what do we do? How do we get to our software? Okay, how do we get software? If you're a brand new person, or if you're someone that has never really used Mutual of Omaha, the information that you see in front of us right now is in our Envita back office under carriers, under the carrier link. For Mutual of Omaha, you'll choose it, and it talks about getting started now. Now, when you see that, you're going to see the blue link that you see right there on my screen. And if you hover over that, you're going to get a little dropout like you see there that's going to lead you directly to mutualofomaha.com's web quoting link. I don't recommend that you use that link, folks, and here's the reason why. That link does not allow you to load up riders. It does not allow you to load up a lot of functionality. It's a basic quoting link. Okay, it is simple to use, it is easy, because all it is going to give you some death benefit, and really not a lot else. So what I recommend that you do, and you'll see this on the next slide. I'm going to go ahead and move to that in just a second, is that so that you can give your clients accurate quotes, and so that you're able to be very efficient with things. There's two different ways of doing it. One is to go into your back office at Mutual of Omaha and download WinFlex. We'll talk about that a little more in detail. We'll put together some more detailed slides and talk about that on a go-forward basis. But there is a very nimble quoting software that you can go to if you're on the Apple phone. You can go to the App Store, and if you're a Android user, you can go to your Play Store. You can get the Mutual of Omaha quoting software. You have to have a compatible smartphone. On Android, you need to be running 4.4.2 or higher. So if you haven't upgraded your operating system, you need to make sure you do that. And if you're on any Apple products, whether it's an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, you need to be running iOS 7.0 or higher. If you're not running at least 7.0 or 4.4.2, this is not going to work, and you're going to have to use WinFlex, which is very easy to use, but it's a lot more involved. Okay, so when you go into your App Store, you're going to find the following that you see on your screen. You're going to find the Mutual of Omaha symbol there, which is the Indian chief's head turned sideways circled in blue, and it says Quotes for Sales Professionals. You go ahead, you click to get that particular software. Usually it's going to say install or download or get right here. Once you've downloaded it, you click on that and it'll say open, and from there, folks, it's kind of difficult to see here, but it's going to give you a list of all the different products that you can quote, and you are able to add your writers to that. You are able to do fully function. The only thing it is not going to do is it is not going to illustrate. It's just going to give you a flat price, meaning if you've clicked for return of premium, if you've clicked on critical illness or any of the other things like that, it is not going to give you any detail about that, just a flat price. So you're going to have to know your product. And we talked last week about knowing your illustrations, okay? Now when you go into, for your American Amicable software, okay, again, this is in the back office and in Vita. You're able to go in and download the illustration software and put it on your computer and go from there. Now there is a couple things I do want to tell you, and we'll go over this again a little more in detail. We actually will assist you when you're in boot camps as well. When you download American Amicable software, you'll be in their back office, and you'll see across the top it'll say downloads on the menus that you'll see on your screen. When you go to that and you click downloads, it downloads to your computer by the individual product. It's not a software suite, and then once it's on your desktop, it is one click. It opens up a little box that you can choose the product you want, and then it's going to open up your browser and run the software. But one thing that you need to know about American Amicable and their software, when you download it, guys, you're going to see some things that are going to pop up. Usually on all of the software, by the way, for both companies, if you're running it on your computer like WinFlex or American Amicable on your PC, you do have to have a Windows computer. They do not run on an Apple or an iOS platform. So if you have an Apple computer, if you are running an emulator that will allow your computer to run Windows, and then you can download it to the emulated side, the partition side of your Apple computer, and it will work. However, if you do not have that, it's not going to work purely on the pure Apple system. So you will need a PC in order to operate the quote software. And it's important to know, because a lot of people have tried to do that and they get frustrated. So just so you Applers out there, you know what that's there. But again, getting back to American Amicable, when you click on the downloads, you're going to probably see a security warning saying, not to trust the site, or when it opens, not to trust the download, that there's a problem, that it could be a virus or some sort of a Trojan horse or things. There's been different ones that will pop up. Go ahead and move through that. Tell it you still want to go to the site anyway and download anyway. It is safe. We've run it for years and years. It's just something in the way the programming goes with the American Amicable quote software that shows that warning. So in some cases, you may even have to disable your firewall or your antivirus program long enough to get it downloaded onto your computer. and it is safe to do so. There have not been any problems that we've been aware of, and American Amicable has assured us that there are no viruses, that they've checked it, and it's just a part of the way that their program is written, that the firewalls and the virus protection software recognizes it as some sort of a potential threat. So just so you know, it is safe to go through with that. You know, and the products that you'll want to download, you'll need to make sure you download your Home Protector. You're going to want to download Term Made Simple, and you know, there are some others that you will be appointed to sell. I believe it's Senior Choice, which is their particular product for you know, final expense. So you know, there will be a few others that are available to you there, but in general, those would be the ones that I would download there, and those would be the ones that I would write there. I wouldn't worry about downloading Easy Term, because Easy Term and their product that's called Term Made Simple are pretty identical, but you have more. You have an opportunity to go a little bit higher on your face amounts with Term Made Simple. So that's just a suggestion. I would strongly recommend, you know, doing those, but you know, it is, again, you know, something that is up to you. All right. So American Amicable, though, they do have a mobile quoting application that you can do from any smartphone, any phone that is able to connect to the internet, or a tablet. However, theirs is more of an URL-based type deal, so it is going to work on data if you're using cellular, or it will work through Wi-Fi on your phone. You're going to want to go to www.insuranceapplication.com, and then from there use your saving, your bookmarking feature on the browser in order to be able to save that. And it's a pretty good, pretty intuitive program as well. It's fully functional. You know, when you go into it, when you launch it, it is going to ask you for your agent number. Once you do that and you hit submit, it does not ask you for a password. From there, it's going to ask you what products you want to you know, to run. In this case, you would select Home Protector. Then it's just going to ask you the following questions that you see there on the other bullet points in terms of premium or face amount that you can calculate for, which is actually pretty nice, meaning that you can, if you have a client that says, hey, listen, you know what, I want to spend about $88 a month, you can go in and type in the amount that they want to run or to spend on a monthly basis, and it'll give you the face amount or the amount of protection based on what you feed into it, whether it's just a death benefit or whether you have some other riders that you'd like to stick on there as well. And then, so again, it's going to give you premium, it's going to give you the face amount, you know, you choose your gender, your state. All of the things that you see there are very, very important. Again, if you recall from last week, with their critical illness, you have amounts that you can choose. 100% critical illness up to 100,000. If it's 100,001 up to 200,000, you can do. You're able to do 50% critical illness, and from $200,001 and up, you're able to choose 25% critical illness. And if you recall, the Mutual of Omaha is an 80% critical illness, and it's already added into it. So you're able to do that from your smartphone or your tablets, and it is actually very once you get used to them, folks, it's a fast process. It's very convenient, and I think most of our producers really enjoy using, you know, that particular software that way. But you know, again, I strongly recommend downloading the programs to your desktop when you're new in the very beginning. And even for some of you guys that have been around a while, I can tell you, for me, I still like to use the laptop or the desktop, you know, computerized software if I'm adding writers, and you'll see why on the next screens. Because as we go through, this particular screen is an example of Home Protector. It's the illustration ledger that's with Home Protector. And what we did here is we ran a 39-year-old female, and she does not smoke, and we're getting her $100,000 worth of coverage. Okay. If you'll notice, where you have all the way here on your you know, to your left, you've got ages, you've got your year, all the way up to the 30 years on this particular product. You're seeing the full face amount that's going to remain level all the way through, and then you're going to see that the premium that they're going to pay annually for the insurance is $540 a month. okay, that the disability rider, because we did run it with disability, is $341.52 a year. And if you notice, though, it's showing you right here that the disability rider is going to stop at age 65, okay, and which means their premium is also going to drop at age 65. So these are good to know, good things to follow through with. Okay, then the next column is going to be your critical illness rider premium that they're going to pay on an annual basis. And if you notice, the first 5 years, it's only $443, and then it goes up. So you need to be aware that your client's premium is going to change, and it's going to remain all the way through for that critical illness all the way through to 65. So they're going to have a premium here. It's going to go up there for a while, and it's going to come back down at the end for that critical illness. Okay. Now then, at the bottom of their particular illustration, and this is why I really like, if you're adding riders, it's really good to be able to use this where you can show your client in the house, because again, it's value is what's going to drive your product. It's going to drive the sales, and it's going to drive the closings, okay, versus just giving them a dollar amount and not explaining exactly what that dollar amount is going to do. So in this case, we talked about last week that they had an accelerated benefit for confined care, okay, which means, and it shows you right there, folks, if your client is asking, you know, what that is, it's just going to say right there, if you're confined to a nursing home for at least 30 days after this policy is issued, you can receive a monthly benefit of 2.5% of the face amount of the policy up to $5,000. So that would go on, you know, right there. It's telling you what a confined care accelerated benefit is, and so it leaves, you know, it leaves all the guesswork out. You know, there's a critical illness accelerated benefit rider, and it's letting you know that up to all the way to the age of 70, if this particular client is, you know, has a qualifying critical illness, that the benefit is going to be as follows. Okay, it's going to be, if they have a heart attack, they're going to be able to get $100,000 with this particular policy. If they have a stroke, they're going to get 100% of that critical illness, $100,000. Invasive cancer, okay, $100,000. Kidney failure, major organ transplant, terminal illness, paralysis, blindness, all $100,000. Now, I mentioned this last week when we were talking that if you are working with somebody that works in the medical profession, somebody that's like a doctor or a nurse or a medical assistant or dental assistant, a dentist, firefighters, anybody like that that works in and around the medical community, if they were to become infected with HIV, AM also adds a provision for them to be able to get $100,000 in critical illness as well in this particular example. So whatever, you know, that's a great selling point. I can tell you that I've used that many times to close deals with people that do work in that community, because there's nothing out there that gives them that kind of protection. Here's another really nice benefit that's a part of it as well. If you have somebody that has to have bypass surgery, I mean, we hear this all the time. I don't know how many times you guys have probably heard it. They're able to get 10% of that accelerated benefit rider, or $10,000, sent to them as well. So that is really, you know, a good thing. And again, these are things that you don't know in the beginning, but it's telling you right here, here's what it is. Okay, so instead of having to call the company or call your upline or anybody else, folks, you can see right here, this is exactly your educational tool as well as your agent guide, but this spells it out for you because this is the actual illustration. As you can see, it's talking about the disability benefit as well there. Gives you $1,500 a month in disability the way this has been illustrated, and it's payable for up to 2 years, so 24 months, and they only have to be disabled for at least 2 months prior to this kicking in. Okay, now here's an example of what Mutual of Omaha's looks like on Term Life Express. We did the exact same scenario, a 39-year-old lady, okay, $100,000. If you'll notice, this is about $30 cheaper than American Amicable. So, you know, you just, you know, if you run these things and you play with them and learn this, you'll know what you're dealing with. If you, especially if you have a price situation, you know, you're able to go in and know that you can do some things a little bit differently, and it's because of some changes that Mutual of Omaha made earlier this year. Ralph Simpson is a big proponent of it and loves this, and the fact that they with Mutual of Omaha, they added for free as part of their benefits on Term Life Express the critical illness rider, and you'll see that right here at no additional cost. So the only thing that they're paying for additional with the example that we gave was the $1,500 a month disability benefit. Now, if you take a look, folks, there, it's going to tell you again, you've got your guarantee period. So both of the policies were guaranteed for 30 years, meaning that the premium is not going to change. In this case, the base amount premium for the coverage isn't going to change. Now, as you saw with American Amicable, some things did change based on the riders that were chosen. So with this, there's a benefit with Mutual of Omaha. It's going to stay the same for 30 years, just the way you see it. So it's not going to go up after 5 years and then float for another 20 years and then go down after that. It's going to stay the same all the way through. So there's some peace of mind there. And then you've got your waiver of premium, which is automatically added to this policy for unemployment. It's also one that's added to the American Amicable, even though it didn't show that. Both companies do give the waiver of premium for unemployment, and they'll do that one time for up to 6 months if you have a client that becomes unemployed, which is nice peace of mind as well. You've got the common carrier death benefit that Michelle talked about last week, meaning, and it shows you right here, it provides an additional death benefit of 100% of the policy's face amount of $250,000. So in this case, it would be an additional $100,000 if they died as a result of a bodily injury sustained in an accident where they were a fare-paying passenger, for instance, on a plane, a train, a bus, etc., or anything else that's licensed for passenger service. So, if they're able, if they pass away and they paid a fare to be on the transportation, they were not the driver, they weren't the pilot, they weren't a crew member, they weren't someone working at the time on that particular mode of transportation, and they die within at least 180 days of the date of the accident, the death benefit is going to be doubled, which is a great feature as well that's unique to Mutual of Omaha. Okay, I won't bore you with reading what an accelerated death benefit is, but it's there, and I'm not going to bore you with reading what the accelerated death benefit for the chronic illness is either. But those are some things that you do need to make sure that you do read through and that you understand. And if you don't, get with your upline or get with the carriers, call sales support at the particular carriers, and just ask them to explain it to you, folks. It's very, very straightforward and very simple for you to be able to identify. But here's one of the things that we do want to point out is the critical illness rider that, again, is absolutely free. Is going to give a portion of the death benefit if they're diagnosed as being critically ill. And here it is right here. The sum of all requested accelerations cannot exceed 80% of the policy's face amount. So in this case, there's $100,000. If they were to have a qualifying critical illness, okay, and that will be, it'll be in the actual policy, but there's also some different requirements based on certain states. And in Texas, it would read exactly the way American Amicables did in terms of the critical illness things that qualify. But in this case, they would be able to request up to 80% or $80,000 of the face amount for them, during that critical illness. So it's a little less than American Amicable, but they're not paying for it either. So it's a free provision, which is great. The only other thing that would happen is they'd have a $100 administrative charge that would happen with that, and there you go. It takes off from there. They get themselves a tax-free check to help go through and to get healthy again. So those are some things that we wanted to kind of go over. Chip Chap, are you there? You want to talk a little bit about our national convention, my man? Are you still there with me?
I'm here, buddy. Can you hear me okay, Robert?
Yeah, man, I hear you loud and clear.
Man, I'm telling you, man, that training is unbelievable. It's like you just got us all excited and suddenly stopped in midstream. I mean, I was like taking it all in. I'm watching the Invita crystal ball and folks are salivating the mouth saying, oh my gosh, I need more of this. Robert, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I hope that this session was recorded for the benefit of those that weren't able to take the call or be on the call. There's nothing like good training, and folks, I'm telling you, you've got the best of the best when it comes to training. Where Robert and Michelle on Thursdays, and if this is your first time logging in, log in every Thursday for great training. Of course, we do training with Tim Sparkman on Mondays too, but just be on his calls, and nuggets are valuable. Be on the calls like you've got to be at the convention, because there'll be more training going on. Yes, there'll be a lot of recognition. We're looking forward to celebrating your success last year, celebrating the coming success, but at the same time, looking forward to accelerating your business to the next level, to elevating your business to the next level. And for that, folks, you've got to be at the convention. That's almost a mandatory part of being in business. Just once a year, be at this convention, and you will walk away with a nugget. And all I can say to you, folks, you pick up 10 nuggets at that convention over the 10-day, over the 2-day period, you're going to walk away, or you're going to add an additional 100 grand to your bottom line in the next 12 months, as long as you apply the nuggets that will be shared to you. And we got the best of the best on stage, going through tips after tips, nuggets after nuggets. Folks, be there on the 27th to 28th of January at the Gaylord. I'm very, very excited. There's just so many things that we can't even talk about that will be shared. If you haven't registered, I believe we still got a few seats available. Just log on, register. And if you 1 foot in, 1 foot out, I can tell you, folks, many, many years ago when I first got into the business, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I dragged my other foot in, went to my first convention, and that was it. The rest is history. So put yourself in that position. Bring that foot in. Now both feet in. Go to the convention and learn a lot. So, yes, that being said, 27th, 28th, and also we have a black tie fair for those that qualified for certain qualifying periods over the last 12 months. We're going to have a great dinner and great fun, and looking forward to seeing you guys there. Back to you, Chibbity Chap Chap.
All right, Tip Chap again, folks. We're $149.95 now for that. So you got to make sure you get going. If you are brand new and newly contracted with us in the last few days, last week or so, you can still get a different special. Contact Amy in the at the home office, and you will have a much different price. But folks, for those of us that have been around and we sat on our hands and sat on our feet and sat on our phones and didn't log in, didn't take advantage of it, well, folks, we've talked about it. It's now $149, just basically $150, which is still a steal in comparison. I mean, shoot, if somebody could tell me, that I could pay $150 and come and sit and leave with what Ralph Simpson just said, 10 nuggets minimum, that would put a minimum of $100,000 in my pocket next year if I go out and apply them and just, Ralph, as we say, W-E-R-K, go out and work. Folks, if you go and do that, you're going to make the money back and then some. So you know what, if we told you, you could put $150 into a stock or into a some sort of an investment, then in 1 year it would be worth $100,000, everybody on the call would try to put $1,500 into it so that they could make $1 million. So folks, put the $150 in, invest in yourself, invest in your business, and make that $100,000. And if you want to make that $1 million investment, folks, I suggest you buy 10 tickets, and that you make sure that you fill those seats with a team of people, because that's exactly how you make $1 million in this business. Moving on to let me see, this might be the last slide. Let me see. I think that's it there, buddy. That's our last slide, it looks like. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to make sure that everybody knows we have we have our meeting tonight going on in Dallas, Texas. None other than Philip Hudgens, the man with the plan, the architect of Invita, the person that dreamt it into being, will be live in Dallas tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you have anyone on the fence, or if you have a guest for the first time even, that you really want to bring and have them join us, look at joining you in Invita, this is where you want to make sure that you are. Because I can tell you right now that Philip will make this thing happen for you. We've got room blocks for the convention as well, ladies and gentlemen. I did have a couple other slides there. If you are staying in the Dallas area, all you have to do is go and call 817-329-9300, the Comfort Inn on Capitol Street in Grapevine. If you mention Invita, you get a room rate of $99, ladies and gentlemen. And we've also arranged for the shuttle to take care of you, getting you to and from the Gaylord throughout the day if you're staying at the Comfort Inn. And that shuttle will run all day long up until, I believe, 11 o'clock at night. And this particular hotel is surrounded by some incredible fine dining. There are steakhouses. There's Mexican food. There is there's even a McDonald's if you just want something simple. Literally within a walking distance from this hotel, literally across the street. So, you know, do make sure that if you have not made reservations, you can do that and get with the people on your team. And folks, how would you like to have that $100 bill right there stay in your pocket? As we've talked about, you know, you can get $100 off of the next boot camp that Michelle, Ralph, and myself will conduct. If you'd like to pay $149 instead of $249 for your next boot camp, you need to email amy.early@invitafn.com. That's amy.early@invitafn.com, and she will get you up to speed on how you can register for that boot camp. And folks, I hope everybody's still on. There's something that we'd like to make sure, and hopefully this will work. I want to make sure that each and every one of you is aware that we have partnered with a local organization to do something with kids. So it's called Kid Matters International, and hopefully this will work and it'll come up here. If you guys will give me 1 second, we're going to get this video, and hopefully you guys will be able to see it. It's very, very important. So give us your eyes, your ears, and give this video a couple of quick seconds of your time as it comes up here. And this is something Michelle made me promise I would do, Ralph and Philip, so hang on 1 second. There we go. Let me bring this up full screen. All right. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and get this out of the way here. We get back to finishing up the call and finishing up our presentation. I do want to make sure that everybody does pay particular attention and knows that, folks, you know, Invita. Oh, hold on 1 second here. I got a Michelle issue. There we go. It's gone. All right. You know, we've got the ability there. Hold on. Boy, I hate when technology does that. Let me get that out of the way. All right, goodbye, you. Okay, all right, back to it here. And folks, you can go to the Invita website or kidsmatterinternational.org, and you're able to click on that green donate button. ladies and gentlemen, you know, one thing that's been very important to Philip and to Ralph and Michelle and I and Tim and all the other leadership here at Invita is giving back. We make great money. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. Even part-time, we make as much part-time as most people in America will make full-time. But there are some people that don't even make, you know, 10%, 20% of what a lot of us will make. Their kids go to schools that, you know, may not have the resources that schools that our kids will go to. And, you know, believe it or not, literacy is still a huge, huge issue in our country. So, folks, we've partnered with Kids Matter International, and they have an incredible situation that they've done where they have negotiated with book publishers, where the book publishers, for every dollar that we give, the book publishers will give a book to the school systems through Kids Matter International in order for children to be able to learn to read. And, you know, I don't think it's too much to ask for us to reach down deep and let's make a huge difference. You know, we've got this opportunity to really get out there and do something fun and say that we made a difference. And if some of you would like to even be some of those that go out and read to the children and help them with their reading by listening to them, we can make sure that you that when you know we talk with Kids Matter, we can let them know that we also have people that would like to volunteer some of their time to go out. And ladies and gentlemen, these books are in English, they're in Spanish, they're in sometimes in Farsi, and different languages that you know that are spoken around the country and in the communities where you know where kids are that are in need. And as you can see there to the right, you know, you can donate in different increments. You can put your own dollar amount in there. You can donate anywhere from $10 up to $500. You can donate more. You can even set it up to be a reoccurring donation. And I can say this is I would like to challenge all of the other leadership within the company. Folks, we've already started. We already have some books that are being generated, but I would like to challenge Bobby White, and I'd like to challenge Tim, you know, Ralph, Michelle, and I, Philip, Nanette, all of the leaders. Folks, if you have a team of people, I would like to challenge you guys at least reach down and give $100. 100 books that would be donated from your company, ladies and gentlemen, to help kids. And that is a huge, huge statement of giving life, you know, in life, as we talk about, giving life to somebody else. You know, because I can tell you, you know, if you were in the meetings, you know, down in Houston and San Antonio, you heard Philip talk about some different things. You've heard him talk about what different, you know, what different authors have said. You've heard Tim talk about different ones. You've heard Ralph, Michelle, and myself. Folks, we all know how to read, or at least, you know, I hope we do. Ladies and gentlemen, give. You know, it's a statement from us and from our company that we're here to also help the communities that we do business in be stronger and better communities, not just take from those communities. So, you know, please take the time to click on that, you know, go into the Invita website or go to kidsmatterinternational.org, click the donate button, then click on the Invita logo and make sure that you give. You know, I'd love more than anything, we would love to be able to recognize several of you and have you stand up even at the convention, and it'd be awesome to be able to have everybody stand up as somebody that's given. And folks, if you're brand new, $10 helps. If you're, you know, if you're here for a while, you've been working and building, or, you know, even as a producer, give 25, give 50. If you can give 100, give 100. If you can give 500, give 500, folks. But nonetheless, give. You know, with that, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up our call. It's been wonderful having each and every one of you on the call. We greatly appreciate you. We celebrate you, and ladies and gentlemen, we cannot wait to see you in Dallas tonight again. 6 o'clock training, 7 o'clock meeting, and then, ladies and gentlemen, on the 27th and 28th at the Gaylord Texan Hotel as we grow our business, grow our minds, and continue to build. Without further ado, this is Robert Wallace on behalf of Ralph Simpson and Philip Hudgens, as well as Michelle Wallace, Tim Sparkman, and the other leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, we are signing off. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.